Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and today we'll be doing a comparative study between the original Telugu jersey versus the Hindi remake we just got. Now this video is not about which film is better. It's very subjective. It totally depends on you which one you prefer. My main goal in these comparative studies is to find out what are the changes they made from one language to the other and how that impacts the storytelling. And did that change work for the film or not? And I have done this comparative study previously with other remakes also, you can check them out. Now moving forward, I'll refer the Telugu one as original and the Hindi one as the remake. And also if you haven't seen both the films, spoiler alert. Now I've already reviewed the original one, you can check it out. Talking about the remake, it's a very faithful adaptation with the same director helming it, Gowtam Tinnanuri. I have to say the adaptation in Punjabi milieu is very well done. The characters, the emotional beats all are same. The acting is solid throughout. Ronit Kamra played the kid in both the films and he delivers. Now the remake having more budget and better technology available, it's definitely technically better. Definitely all the cricket scenes are better than the original. Now the remake is 20 minutes longer than the original, and after watching the film you can tell they have put a lot of emphasis on the cricketing shots. There's a lot of time spent on every match compared to the original, and that actually drags the film a lot because the film is not a cricket movie. It is about these characters, the emotions they have, and I feel in the remake they get into the cricket too much. Also you have to remember the film is showing 1996, the Ranji matches that used to happen that time, and according to that the remake, it feels like they are very modern. The grounds, their locker rooms, everything feels really modern and really hi-fi for Ranji players. That too in that time. Today there's a lot of money in cricket, but not back in 1996. And when I rewatched the original, the cricket matches in that looks like it's 1996. The grounds don't look really lavish, which was not the case in the remake. So that authenticity got sacrificed to make everything look really good. Now one character that really didn't work for me in the original was the coach. I thought it was the writing, but I think it was more of the performance. Whereas in the remake, they nailed the casting with getting Pankaj Kapoor, father of Shahid Kapoor, and the chemistry between them is amazing throughout the film. It is one of the highlights. So you have to give it to them. Casting him was a really good decision. I even like Pankaj Kapoor's performance better. It's just my opinion. Maybe for some people, Sithara's performance worked better. But coming to a female protagonist, I feel Shraddha Srinath fit that role really well, whereas Mrunal Thakur doesn't. She doesn't look like a mother throughout the film, and I feel like they could have casted someone better for that role. Also, the female character in this film, she's very possessive about Arjun, and both the films established that really well. But there was a very important scene missing in the remake, which is there in the original, where we get to know what is she's feeling, why she's doing what she's doing. We get her side of the story when she's talking to a colleague in the hotel, but that scene is not there in the remake. So when before the climax we have the scene between them where she's like, you cannot do it, just leave everything, we can all be together, live happily, we'll take the money from my father, etc. You understand where she's coming from, but in the remake we never had that scene. So at the end it feels very selfish of her. Maybe they had shot that scene but it was cut out due to the length of the film, but that was a really important scene for her character. Now one thing that was a big issue for me throughout the film was the language in the remake, because they were mixing it with Hindi and Punjabi, and sometimes they were using really heavy Punjabi words, and then suddenly they're talking in Hindi and suddenly they're talking in mix, which was really throwing me off. So I was not a big fan of it. You could have just stick to Hindi. I understand they were trying to be authentic with those Punjabi words, but it just doesn't feel natural, and that actually hampers the performances of the actors. Now the big thing, Nani versus Shahid, who was better and all of that, again it's subjective. Personally for me, I would go with Nani's performance, but Shahid was not bad at all. I read somewhere that both the actors played the characters really differently, and you can notice when you watch both the films, it feels like they are two different people with the same name and the same lives. So at no point it feels like Shahid is trying to recreate what Nani did already. Now one big difference between both the films is that the original really underplays things, whereas the remake is just too over the top at moments. It's just really too much at times. Both the film established Arjun is a really good player. He was one of the best batsmen of his time, but the way the remake shows it, it feels like, oh, this guy is better than Sachin Tendulkar. I have no idea why he's not in the Indian team. They build up the myth of him so much, and every damn time, and even in the cricketing shots, he just comes on the crease and just 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, that's it. Whereas when I rewatched the original, there's a lot of singles also he's taking. He's also hitting 6 and 4s, but the film is not trying to put so much emphasis. They're quickly going through the matches, which is not the case in the remake. They're spending a lot of time on the cricket, and he just goes there and hits 6 and 4, 6 and 4. So it really becomes unbelievable at times. There are many moments in the remake where this over-the-top treatment really affects the scenes. Especially the romantic scenes when they're dating, some of them are really cringe. Whereas in the original, they are done very tastefully. I really like the groundedness of the original because it works with the narrative. There are many moments in the remake where the framing, composition, cinematography is way better. But in some important moments, the framing is way better in the original. The scene where Arjun is taking out the money from the locker and the wife comes in. That scene is shot really well in the original. The remake, the way it's shot, it's not that good. It's not that impactful. Also, just after that scene when Arjun is standing outside the house and the kid goes to him and he asks him, why you didn't tell the truth that I hit you? And the kid replies, because no one will believe you hit me. That is a really impactful scene. But in the remake, the moment the kid says that, Shahid Kapoor just turns, sits on his bike and leaves. Whereas in the original, we get a close-up of Nani feeling that dialogue and then he starts to cry and he turns and says, I'm leaving, I'll come back in some time. So that close-up of just 2-3 seconds is so important at that time. That emphasis was really important to feel that, which is missing in the remake. I don't know why. Now in the original, there was this subplot with Arjun and that girl who writes about him and he's trying to help with the relationship, which I was not a big fan of. And in the remake, they didn't have that. They directly just shake hands and are friends. So I was happy about it. The theme music I really enjoyed, which is same in both the films. Now the songs in the original are in Telugu, so it doesn't work for me. But the Hindi songs are really good. Some of them are in my playlist also. Now coming to the climax of the film, the Hindi one really didn't hit hard for me. Maybe because I knew the story or it just didn't work for me. And when I rewatched the original one, I found that in the original, it's kept grounded, which is really important. And there's more emphasis on our main characters, the son and the mother. And there are close-ups of them when the reveal happens. Whereas the original, there are no close-ups. They're just wide shots of everyone. Oh, really? He knew about his disease. Oh my god, he was great. That's it. The film ends. In the original, we stay with the characters. And I think that's really important. And I think with the remake, the issue was they were trying to go big this time. And that bigness didn't work. Because the best part of the original was the groundedness. At the end, I would say both the films do their job. Whatever language you prefer, you can watch the film in that and it will totally work. You're not missing out on anything. Personally, for me, the groundedness of the original and Nani worked better. But the cricketing shots were way better in the remake. Through channel membership, you can support this channel and help me continue this journey ahead. And in turn, you get various perks. To know more, click on the join button. For more information, check out the community page. So guys, that's the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up button, share this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, check out the videos if you like them too. Do go subscribing and I'll see you next time.